Greetings. This is Coach Veronica Marie, and I welcome you to this short teaching, which is a part of my current free book study on my most recent ebook entitled Self Intimacy: A Beginner's Guide to Self Discovery. If you have this book and you want to join my free book study, just send me an email at veronicamarie@mail.com. If you would like to purchase the book and join the book study, you can purchase the book at veronicamarie.com. In my book, I outline ways to move in self-love that creates self-intimacy. And self-intimacy allows us to be intimate with others, to develop closeness and sacredness and understanding, to know and be known. The first step, or the first part, or the first layer of developing self-intimacy is self-acknowledgement. And some people find this really hard because we have what is called a self-preserving bias. That means we have this need to see ourselves as behaving more morally, more ethically, more soundly, more grounded than others, and than we really are. It's a coping mechanism. It helps us to feel better about self. It often preserves self-confidence in hard times. However, it will block intimacy, self-intimacy, and intimacy with others by causing you to deny parts of yourself that other people see that you may not see. It's an unconscious way of living. Others find this to be easy. They acknowledge that they are a certain way or have a certain pattern, but they get stuck there. They're just aware of it. They have no clue how to come out of it, no clue what to do with that. And so again, even though they are acknowledging themselves and they are aware, they still sabotage self-intimacy and intimacy with others. And that is why the process in this book is so important, because I offer a way through this self-work into a place of closeness within self. So let's examine this first layer. I like to call it a layer. That feels good to me. Self-acknowledgement. So in the last teaching, we talked about behavioral patterns. We went over passive, aggressive, passive, and assertive. Self-acknowledgement here will cause you to identify yourself. Where is it that you fall in that continuum? Maybe you exhibit a combination of all of those. Maybe one is more dominant, right? Whatever the case may be, self-acknowledgement is super important. I like to put it like this. We have to acknowledge that we have characters, many characters within us. And those characters have different qualities, and they were formed and shaped by different experiences. But when you are unconscious, those characters come into play. We call that an autopilot. You move in an unconscious pattern, a way you always move. And what we want to do is come out of that behavioral loop, that feeling loop, that thought loop. You may have a habit of defensiveness when you perceive a challenge or a question, or maybe someone you perceive is insinuating that you've done something wrong or that you are not enough, or whatever the case may be, your automatic response may be to defend. You begin to give reasons why that's not true, reasons why it's not that way. And defense is different than explaining, because defense is a contracted energy. It doesn't allow you to be open to what a person is saying. Therefore, you are not open to change. And if you are unaware that you are defensive, you will be acting in a defensive nature and wondering why the people around you are responding the way that they are. What is wrong with them, you'll wonder. I was just asking a question, or I was just trying to explain. Defensive energy is a contracted energy, and you can feel it in your body because it tightens your gut and tightens your chest and causes you to only explain yourself, to get out of feeling like not enough, or get out of a feeling of guilt, or out of a feeling of shame. Defense is meant to get you out of something, some perceived negative view by another person. And again, when you're explaining because you want to be known and you're able to dialogue and you don't feel the contraction within. So if you were to acknowledge that you can be defensive, you would say something like, I acknowledge that I have a defensive character that rises up from time to time when I feel not enough, guilty, when I feel that I failed or I've let someone down, or when I begin to fear disappointment, etc. That character steps up. That's the first part of the acknowledgement, acknowledging that you feel defensive. You can feel it in your body. You notice the effects of it during and after. And you also understand what makes it come up, what exact feeling. Like I said, it could be guilt, it could be fear, it could be shame, whatever it is, right? That is the first part. Maybe you have a character that is controlling or tries to control situations more than necessary. That character may rise up if you begin to feel insecure or not confident, or you begin to feel fear loss. I hope you see where I'm going. You may have a character that goes passive because that character fears judgment or disconnection, or feels uncomfortable about self, etc. It's important to not only acknowledge what you feel, but acknowledge what brings that feeling into your situation so that you can become aware enough to change it. So I'm going to stop right there. I don't want to go deep into this process because when I come back with part 6, then we're going to keep going deeper. If you don't have the book, remember you can get it at veronicamarie.com, and then send me an email. You can email me at veronicamarie@mail.com if you want to join this book study. If you have already purchased the book and you want to join, send me the email. My name is Veronica Marie, and I am an emotional wellness coach, a fitness coach, a nutrition coach, and a feminine wisdom mentor. And I love helping people live a healthy and a happy life because I'm passionate about doing the same for myself. I'll talk to you soon.